Yeah.
They just haven't been able to get that one guy's super hot with that laser focus of everyone wanting to see what happens.
It's good to have you back, Magnum. And what's been on your wrestling mind lately? Anything new?
I watched I watched a little bit of the WWE product from Monday night last night, and it's really hard for them, I think, to still try to go back and recreate that intensity they had when Roman Reigns was so hot with the bloodline and the feud and the culmination of him having had the championship forever and Cody and the chase, and they just have not been able to latch on to something of that magnitude, one single piece. And even the stuff with John Cena, though I totally admit it's the best use of John Cena. I believe that they could be capitalizing on in this limited window of time that they've got.
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to get that one guy's super hot with that laser focus of everyone wanting to see what happens with them. And I think there were some missteps, some miscues along the way, but that's armchair quarterbacking. It was going to be a tough thing to follow any way they turned it, but it's proven me right, because they've not been able to utilize Roman to any great capacity since he's come back, and I'm glad to see Gunther back, in his familiar role, and I look at the his upcoming match with Goldberg on the Saturday night main event, and I'm hoping, and I'm sure it will be, that will be something where Bill and his kind of giving back to the business will elevate Gunther, in that exchange. So it's an interesting time, all the way around.
Yeah, very much so. And I think that's a good point too about having a hot star at the moment. Like there's some stars, but it doesn't feel to the level that kind of what you were saying as a Roman Reigns and that momentum that was picking up with Bloodline way back in the day, even too. Greg, do you kind of agree with that assessment too that Magnum said?
Oh, I definitely do. I watched last night from start to beginning, because it was from Green Bay, one of our hot towns. Actually, going back in time, we used to sell out that Green Bay Arena for 3 years straight. People would buy tickets. We'd go on Sunday nights. They'd already sell out for the next card, not even knowing what was coming up. And when I was watching it last night, I didn't get the feel that the Green Bay fans used to give us. I mean, it was electrifying, and they weren't getting it out of a lot of the matches last night. I felt really bad for AJ Styles in the match he had with McDonough. They had a heck of a match, but the people didn't really react to it till the end of it. And it felt like there wasn't any momentum all the way through that night until they got to that big four-way with the Uso and Sheamus, Green, and Rusev. And that was a hell of a match. And they really got the crowd back the way the Green Bay crowds used to react. And then with everybody else coming out there, from Sammy to Penta to Breaker to Rollins and Cody, it left them with a really good taste at the end of the night. But the rest of it was just there for me.
Yeah. There were some bright spots I took away from Raw in certain ways, but and the crowd, I think it did peak at certain moments in time. But overall, there was some times too where it did kind of taper off, and it just felt, like we're in the dog days of summer, even though we're in the early days of summer.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Gunther interview with Goldberg, that got great response.
Yes. Yeah.